Microsoft's quantum leap, what their new quantum processor means for the future. Welcome back to Tech Tomorrow, the podcast where we break down the biggest innovations shaping the future of technology. I'm Anil Sedha, and today's episode is going to blow your mind. Why? Because Microsoft has just announced, or a couple of days back, a major breakthrough in quantum computing, a new quantum processor that could change everything we know about how computational power, error correction, and business efficiency works. We are going to break down what it means at a deeper technical level, why it matters, and how it will impact both regular everyday users as well as business users. So stick around because this is going to be one of the biggest tech moments of the decade. And I'm telling you, from the perspective of having an avid interest in data center computing for the last 8 years. Yes, I've been quietly behind the scenes fiddling around with various different models and doing some of my own research and whatnot. So this is very exciting. So what really did Microsoft announce? So they came out and said they have a new quantum processor, and I'm going to put a few pictures in my comments here below this podcast post. So this new quantum processor represents a significant leap in quantum computing capabilities. Now you would assume, yeah, someone's rolled out something, but there's the quantum computers are just a whole total different architecture. Unlike traditional processors that rely on bits, quantum processors use qubits, and they allow exponentially more computational power. Now, to a layman or to a general user, for that may not be very clear. So I'll try to explain it to you with some type of an example. So a traditional bit in technology is binary in nature. So you have a 1 and a 0. In quantum computing, a bit architecture is called a qubit, but it's exponentially more capable of storing data. If you have to compare the power of a qubit, let's assume for a minute that someone came out with 100 qubits of processing power. That 100 qubits is equivalent, so remember this, equivalent or more than all of the supercomputers on this planet combined. So think of this, a regular computing traditional binary concept is a 1 and a 0, and that's a bit. A qubit, different from that, but if you had just 100 qubits, that's equivalent to all of the supercomputers on this planet combined. So imagine the power of a qubit. So now that I've helped you understand this, I will try to explain a little bit of a different concept. So why are qubits not very popular or mainstream? Because it has so much potential. It's not that straightforward to create a qubit or a quantum computer. Qubits are incredibly fragile, and they can collapse with slightest environmental difference. So technically, and this is what I learned during my research for quite a while, when you're working with wavelength, you cannot have interference in wavelengths. And when waves are generating or storing data, and this is the power of quantum computing, they are able to store massive volumes of data. Microsoft's new quantum processor reportedly uses, and this was the interesting piece of of their announcement. They said this is not a solid matter, this is not a liquid matter or anything. They've created a new concept, and they are saying we've used Majorana zero modes, which are exotic quantum states that can maintain qubit coherence for longer periods by braiding their quantum information around each other. This technique And see this here. They didn't go with a straightforward thing, and I'll tell you, I've tried with various different appliances to see if I could mimic a quantum computing strategy. So that concept that they've come up with, Majorana, I hope I'm saying it correct, Majorana zero modes, this technique could drastically improve computational stability and lead to more practical quantum algorithms. So let's talk about the game changing aspect of it. So most quantum computing processors, and I did my very first test on a freely available but invitation only quantum computer, almost, if I'm not mistaken, in about somewhere between 2014 and 2016. Let's put it that way. I don't fully recollect the exact timeline. But most quantum processors suffer from high error rates due to environmental noise and quantum decoherence. Error correction has been one of the biggest hurdles in making quantum computing viable, and this is why it's not readily available, easily available. You need a very strong environmental concept for it. So Microsoft's focus on topological qubits means they're not only addressing an error correction, because now they have said we've addressed digital coherence, so, or decoherence, if qubit coherence. So Microsoft focus on these qubits. They don't only address the error correction, but also make those quantum processors more scalable and efficient. So traditional qubits, and I'm going to refer some research notes of my own. That's why you see me looking at certain things. Traditional qubits rely on massive overhead in quantum error correction, requiring hundreds of physical qubits just to create a single logical qubit. Now, the topological qubits, however, require far fewer physical qubits because now they've addressed the challenge to achieve the same level of fault tolerance. So the error correction is far lower. Now you can build a much larger quantum system with fewer resources. And they showed the processor; it's this size and it fits into the palm. And I was surprised. I was like, "Wow, look at this!" And when you see the picture, you would be surprised too. So this will lead to now practical quantum outcomes. We were all wowed by AI. We were all thinking, "Oh, AI is the next frontier. This, that, whatever." But everybody was thinking behind the scenes, what if you could pair AI with quantum computing? Now, what would mean for the business, because that's what changes how businesses stand to gain from this development. It's always been an exciting prospect. Microsoft has been doing innovation, Intel has been doing innovation, AMD has been doing innovation, but they've come out with this error resistant qubit that when you look at it, it can be used at a high level first, or more critically first, for cryptography and cybersecurity, because you need it at a scale specifically with AI and some other countries who are trying to compete in the quantum computing field. So if you thought RSA encryption was the world's best encryption, then nothing against RSA. I'm just saying they are one of the best ones out there. So I'm putting them as a benchmark. So if you thought that they were one of the best encryptions, they would look tiny. Now they could become really obsolete very quickly. Not saying in the near future, but quantum computing will bring that level of potential. Obviously, RSA, I'm pretty sure, is going to now take it to the next level. So businesses will start investing in quantum computing, cryptography, financial services. So all of these huge banks and financial institutions and governmental revenue organizations, or revenue management organizations, let's say the CRA, the IRS, and whatever else. Now they would want something like this, because this will vastly improve the Monte Carlo simulations that lead to better risk assessments and high frequency trading strategies. So the trading platform that is going to go bonkers, because you, people used to just be close to the stock markets just to kind of get the best or the fastest level of information. Now, this is going to make a whole lot of difference there. The material science and drug discovery. So everybody's working on cancer research, other types of researches, uh, but when you look at it from a molecular standpoint, those interactions will be now at an unprecedented scale, because previously you had to kind of only limit yourself based on what you were working on, and that was just the science behind it, and in essence the materials were not available. But now with next gen materials and medicines that would come out, there would be a lot more accuracy at a lot lesser risk. So that's going to be huge, because we'll have a lot of new drug discovery over the next, if I had to predict, over the next 2 to 4 years. Now, with as I started off saying earlier, we were all thinking that what if someone could pair AI with quantum computing? It's going to happen now, because now quantum enhanced neural networks would break all current limitations in deep learning specifically. So this deep research or deep seek or whatever else that we are listening and hearing about, I have a feeling it will be blown out of the water, because that's going to be vastly improved optimization techniques and pattern recognition. And all that is for very large organizations, but businesses, governments, this, that, whatever. What happens to general people, you and me? What happens to us? Or not even those in IT, what happens to others that we know of? So for everyday users, you might be wondering, how does this affect me? And that's what I want to really focus on. So this is still in its early stages for consumer applications. There is already a major significant usage that I'm pretty sure behind the scenes has been going on in the defense world more than anything else, and or the US government requirements, because they're already always at, like NASA and others, they're always at the cutting edge of things. So I have a feeling that this is going to now come mainstream as a result of that, because Microsoft would not have come out with an announcement otherwise. So this will lead to ultra secure communications. And I love communications because I own a communications startup as well, Whistle, right? So I look at this from a totally different perspective. And communications is not just voice messaging communications, but it is also, so communications is not just voice and messaging, as I said. It is also about data communications, network communications, secure communications, cryptographic communications. So this will lead to new unbreakable encryption techniques, for example. So you were all thinking blockchain is the next big thing. It's going to create super strong encryption capabilities, or not encryption, but chain blockchain capabilities that keep personal data safe, and you have a reliable chain in flow. This is going to change all of that. The AI assistants and whatnot, obviously, as I said before, will kind of go through a whole new revolution almost. An aspect that I think is underplayed when it comes to super high performance computing is, and I think it will change for the better in future, because gaming and digital entertainment is going to be at an unsurpassable level in my mind. So quantum processors could unlock hyper realistic physics simulations. So when you see these huge animations and graphics and digital media frontiers being broken, this could bring lifelike gaming and movie CGI specifically to a whole new level. We all loved Jurassic Park, we all loved Avatar, and we all loved Star Trek, and we all loved Spider-Man or whatever else. Totally different ball game here, because, and I have a feeling this could also maybe lead to some real-time outcomes. For example, gaming could be in your face or real time with this type of technology breakthrough, because where you had a lag and all that stuff, maybe that would all be gone, because just the response rate or the response type for such applications are going to be different. Health, obviously, as I mentioned, so huge improvements in drug discovery, medicines, medical healthcare. I feel it will also lead to some more precision healthcare concepts, not just healthcare concepts, but precision medicine, for example, tailoring treatments to an individual's genetic makeup, because now you have a quantum computer, and I have a strong feeling this is going to go in that direction. It's already started behind the scenes with stem cell engineering and whatnot, where the genetic makeup of our own body could be used to provide custom tailored outcomes for our health. So very different. That's going to come out. So what are others doing? Microsoft's come out with this. Are others going to just sit in and watch? Or what are they already doing? IBM, and I'm going to compare it with IBM and Google, maybe. Yeah, IBM. So let's talk there. IBM, they came out with a Q system, and they've been super popular for their supercomputer and whatnot, right? Watson was a huge hit and super popular for years. But IBM's Q system follows a superconducting qubit approach, which has already seen significant enhancements, but it couldn't overpower what Microsoft did. And I said it at the start of the podcast. In fact, I stressed too many times on it, and there was a reason behind it, which is the error correction piece. Nobody else in the world has been able to address the error correction as well as Microsoft. So now everybody else is going to focus on that, because now they've realized where the problem is versus coming out with the next frontier of quantum computing. So IBM's focus is going to be possibly, and I can only speculate, to make quantum computing more accessible through cloud platforms like Qiskit. But the error rates, they will remain a challenge unless they come out with a material of some kind that would again reduce the error correction. And Google's quantum supremacy was based on solving a problem faster than classical computers could. So they did not technically have uh, a, a huge scale out qubit approach. They were like, I have this dense computing capability, and I will brute force qubit scaling based on that. But Microsoft came out and said, you can brute force, you can go faster, you can put more power to it, but I can have better fault tolerance and stability. And it's not one over the other, but it's just about fundamentally what is more appealing from a quality standpoint, or just from an approach. I'm trying to keep these terminologies simple, not too technical. But if you are going to go and get, let's say, a shirt, what type of a shirt are you really buying? Something that is more comfortable, won't tear off easily, or something that is just more cost effective, flexible even, or better looking, or just from a material standpoint also. So at the end of the day, the experience is what would matter, and the experience would only come better with better error correction. So the error correction is what is going to take Microsoft ahead. If I were to bet, and I'm not a finance guy, don't take my word for it, Microsoft's the company I want to bet on for the next little while, purely for that reason. And because I think they will see a huge leap, almost like Nvidia. They suddenly had this explosion of stock growth and whatnot. And I'm not going to go there. That's not what this podcast is about. But Microsoft's innovation is going to sustain them for a long time, but also give them a pole position, a leadership position for a long time also. Because this will lead to a long-term scalable solution that, and when Microsoft's already in all enterprises, governments, defense, just like Google, just like IBM. So with this outcome that they have come up with, they're going to be super successful in building a topological qubits at scale. Because guess who's going to come at them and say, you know what? You are going to work or give all this technology to us first. And I have a strong feeling that's going to be the US government and US Fortune 500s or super large enterprise organizations, because that will help them leapfrog all of their competitors in this entire race from a practical quantum computing standpoint. So all of those customers even if they're working with other partners, would want to leverage this very fast. So we are close to the end of it. I'm just looking at the time here. So what's our big takeaway? The big takeaway is this quantum processor, brand new quantum processor, represents one of the most significant quantum computing enhancements or advancements in years. I'm telling you, in 8 years, I have not seen such a major, of my own research, I have not seen such a major discovery or difference in how to achieve quantum computing. In fact, behind the scenes, there is some projects that I've been following, very interesting concepts, but not there yet. I was at SASTER last year, a huge conference in Redwood City, California. And I actually met someone who might watch this podcast too, and we were talking about quantum computing. And and there is this innovation that is going to now allow people to think differently, because for the most part, people were just trying to address the qubit aspect, but nobody was able to address or even thinking of how can I reduce the error correction significantly. Everybody was thinking marginally, but significantly. So this shift to topological qubits, where your environmental aspects are addressed, could finally solve the long-standing problem of error correction, and also more importantly, because it's publicly announced and they've shown a product, I think now it will become commercially viable. That is going to be in our hands. We would personally be able to use it. So whether you are in cybersecurity, AI, finance, government, tech enthusiast, or just a general person, quantum computing is something you should keep an eye on. And just in about December timeframe, I had actually given out a news interview to City News out of Toronto, where I specifically put quantum computing in my top tech trends to watch for in 2025. I had no idea about this upcoming innovation or whatnot, but I had an inkling that we'll see a breakthrough. And I was thinking that breakthrough in quantum computing would happen because of AI. But this is a whole new ballgame. And now that piece added to this is going to be completely different. So keep watching Tech Tomorrow. I know this was a pretty long one, but very exciting topic. This is the future where we are going. We all need to understand what quantum computing is going to bring for us. And if you see it in mainstream applications in the next few years, you'll possibly think back on this podcast and maybe realize what we are talking about today in a few years from now. So if you have any feedback, would love to hear from you. Always good to engage and understand who likes things and who doesn't, and stay ahead of the curve. Tech Tomorrow is going to come with another interesting topic, hopefully very soon. And I look forward to sharing more details. Thanks. Take care. Bye.